Hello dear students. I am teacher Rahaf Al-Ajarma from Taqarib International School. This video is for 8th grade. Do the Max Unit 4, Past Perfect Simple, Past Perfect Continuous. This is a grammar lesson. What is past perfect? Past perfect is events that happened earlier in the past. For example, when I met her, I had never been in a serious relationship. Another example. He noticed that I had cleaned the car. It was clean and shiny. Duration from earlier in the past. When she died, they had been married for 48 years. So, what is past perfect simple? It is about events that happened before another event in the past. Look at this timeline. When you arrange the tenses, we put past perfect, then past simple. So, it is the past before the past. It is the past before the past. The past perfect simple is formed with had plus past participle, which is excellent verb 3 of the verb. For example, I had studied English for several years before I traveled to the USA. Another example, I had played football for 2 hours. So these are past perfect simple. These are past perfect simple. The past perfect simple is formed with 3 forms. We have the affirmative form, we have the negative form, and we have the interrogative form, which is forming a question. Let's look at the 3 examples here. I had studied English for several years before I traveled to the US. The negative form of had studied is hadn't studied. We add not to the verb had. I hadn't studied English before I traveled to the US. We do not add or change the verb 3, the past participle of the verb. We do not change it. How to form a question? We start with the verb had. Had plus subject plus verb 3 plus the object. Had you studied English before you traveled to the US? Had you studied English before you traveled to the US? How to answer this question? We said that, yes, I had studied English before I traveled to the US, or no, I hadn't studied English before I traveled to US. Now, I'm gonna tell you about the uses of the past perfect. Why do we use past perfect simple tense? The past perfect shows an event that happened before another event in the past. As we said, it is the past before the past. Imagine you are late for work on the day of an important meeting. The meeting started at 8 o'clock and you arrived at 8:15. So, the meeting had already started by the time I arrived. We have 2 actions or events that happened in the past. Which one is the earlier? Which one is the past before the past? Great job. The meeting had already started because it was at 8 o'clock. Great job. Another use of the past perfect is also used to show an action that continued until a certain point in the past. Imagine that there is a husband and a wife who got divorced last year. Before the divorce, they were married for 3 years. They were married from 2008 till 2011, and they got divorced in 2011. So, again, we have 2 actions. The 2 actions or the 2 events happened in the past. They had been married for 3 years when they divorced. When they divorced after 3 years of marriage. It is common to use the short form d. They had been. So this is the short form of the verb had been. They had been married 3 years when they divorced. When I checked my cell phone, I saw that she'd called me twice. By the end of the day, I'd written 20 emails. Signal words for the past perfect. Signal words or the keywords for the past perfect. By the time, when, before, until, and said, reported speech, in the form of the reported speech. For example, I'd finished all the work by the time you called. As we said, d is the short form of had. I had finished all the work by the time you called. So, which actions happened first? Great job, finishing the work. Great job. When we arrived at the airport, our flight had already left. Which events happened first? Great job, our flight had already left when we arrived at the airport. Great job. Before we sold our car, we had owned it for 12 years. So, the first events that we had owned it for 20 years, then we decided to sell the car. We decided to sell the car. He'd never met a native English speaker until he visited London. So he never met a native English speaker until he visited London. She said that she'd lost her wallet. Past perfect continuous. So there is a difference between past perfect simple and past perfect continuous. We said that past perfect simple is the past of the past. So what is about past perfect continuous? Progressive. Past perfect continuous tense indicates a past action which is started in the past and continue to happen after another action and time in the past. So it is continuous, but in the past. How to form this tense? As we said, we have 3 forms. We have the affirmative, we have the negative, and we have the interrogative or question. How to form affirmative sentences? We start with the subject plus had been plus verb ing plus objects. Verb ing, continuous. Continuous, verb ing. Do not forget. So it is 3 parts verb, 3-part verbs. Had is the part 1, been part 2, verb plus ing, verb 3. Negative, subject plus hadn't, been plus verb plus ing plus objects. Question, had plus subject plus been plus verb ing plus object plus question mark. Great job. Let me just tell you that had is suitable for both subjects, singular and plural subjects. She had been and I had been. They had been and Ali had been, okay? Affirmative examples. You had been running. But the negative, you hadn't been running. What about the question? Had you been running? Had you been running? How to answer this question? Great job. Yes, I had been running, or no, I hadn't been running. Great job. Let me just write them. Yes. Yes, I had. Or no, I. Now we need the negative form. Great job. No, I hadn't been running. This is the full answer. Yes, I had been running. No, I hadn't been running. Great job. He had been running. Notice that this is a plural subject and this is a singular subject. Both take the verb had. Not have, not has. It is had. It is the past form of the verb have. That's it for today. Practice more, do your exercise, and feel free to ask me any question. Goodbye and good luck.